Did Lisa Vanderpump really stick Kyle Richards with her dinner bill? Hey guys, and welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We've got all the details you need to know about the latest Housewives feud. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and today I'm joined by Gabby Gonta, and we're going to get into all the Housewives tea. Lisa Vanderpump is firing back at Kyle Richards, claiming that she didn't send her dinner bell to her table. Lisa is setting the record straight that she actually sent the bill over to the person Kyle was having dinner with, which was a former producer that both housewives have worked with. Lisa is also letting us know that she gave the restaurant an imprint of her credit card, so if the producer didn't end up paying the bill, the restaurant would have charged her card. So basically, she decided that she was going to send the bill over to the producer that she's worked with because she was having dinner with Kyle, who is an enemy of Lisa's. Gabby, how is this making sense to you? Have you ever sent over your dinner bill to a friend that you knew was in the restaurant or an ex-friend?
Definitely not. That just makes for a messy situation, which clearly is what happened here. I think when Lisa was explaining it, she was saying like, "Oh, our former producer, we just happened to be in the same restaurant. He walked over to me, we were having a conversation." And she was joking pretty much saying, "Oh, yeah, like you're going to pay for my dinner, right?" But then she actually like committed and took it to the next step and told the, staff at the restaurant, "Hey, this guy, send him my bill. He's going to pay for it." So I think that's where communication kind of got misled there when she was kind of just joking it off with him, but then she actually sent her bill over there and he didn't end up paying it because he was confused and then she was confused. So yeah, a little bit of a sticky situation. I don't think she did it on purpose. It certainly doesn't sound like that, but from Kyle's perspective, who was having dinner with the producer, I could see how that was, a little bit sticky there.
I kind of feel like she did do it on purpose as like a dig to Kyle because maybe she wanted Kyle to pay for the dinner. It just doesn't make sense why she's expecting anyone to pay for her dinner. Why can't she pay for her own dinner? She has this huge multi-million dollar house. She owns all of these restaurants. She has like 5 shows on TV right now. I'm pretty sure she can afford to pay for her own dinner. So what was the point of like asking
Right.
this guy to pay for the dinner just because he's having dinner at the same restaurant with your arch nemesis? It doesn't really make sense to me. And it actually gets worse, Gabby. So when a fan went up to Lisa Vanderpump later that night with a poster of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and asked her to sign her name, Lisa signed it, but while doing that, crossed off Kyle's face and drew a mustache on Lisa, Rinna, and Dorit. Kyle posted the photo to her social media and let fans know what really happened after the premiere of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last week on the Watch What Happens Live Beverly Hills special, where the girls were dishing on the new season, which Lisa Vanderpump is not a part of. So for everyone that doesn't remember, Lisa and Kyle were both OGs on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills since season 1. They were on the show together for about a decade before Lisa quit halfway through season 9 due to the infamous puppygate. This was when all the housewives turned on Queen LVP after her longtime friend Kyle accused Lisa of being a liar, which resulted in Lisa kicking Kyle out of her house, and Lisa Vanderpump did not show up to the season 9 reunion. They have a long history of fighting, so the fact that they're still fighting and it's been 2 years since Vanderpump left the show, they're now on season 11. She left during season 9. Gabby, is there any hope for these two? Is there any way they can reconcile their friendship?
That's a good question. It certainly doesn't seem like it. Now that you brought up the poster signing with
Mhm.
the mustache and craziness, that is another key to this puzzle that maybe, the bill situation was not by
Mhm.
accident, like you mentioned. So that's very interesting. It does seem like the beef between them is still going pretty strong. I recently watched the Andy Cohen show for real where he talks about reality TV and he had a few housewives on in interviews and I think Caroline and Teresa still this many
Mhm.
years later were not friends, they still are holding the grudge to whatever happened on the season. So I don't feel like anything's going to be resolved between Lisa and Kyle anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these housewives. They just get so involved in like these feuds that are like supposed to be for television, but then it becomes real life because yes, reality TV is, reality, but it's also kind of for entertainment and television. So sometimes these feuds that we see on Housewives are like overhyped and over exaggerated for TV just to get the fans invested. Kind of like when you're watching a sports game and it's like, are you rooting for this team or that team? It's the same thing with Housewives. Are you rooting for this housewife or this housewife? And fans are definitely divided on social media. A lot of people are siding with Kyle, saying that Lisa Vanderpump is being, kind of entitled and petty. But then a lot of people are saying that Queen LVP, she is the queen. She was the queen of the show. Kyle turned on her after their years of friendship. Gabby, I know you're not the biggest Housewives fan, but do you think you personally are siding with Lisa or are you siding with Kyle?
From what I've seen, I would say Lisa in this moment
Mhm.
because I think it was definitely like a miscommunication. I do think, like you were mentioning earlier, there's no reason she couldn't pay for her own dinner, right? So even starting any of this is just opening a can of worms that she didn't have to. So for that reason, it's I would say why like do this and start all this drama. But of course, now we're here talking about them again, so maybe it's all for a good reason for them. And the fact that she just like owns plenty of her own restaurants, like doesn't she know like how things work where like I don't know, it's just things are going to get convoluted. And so Kyle kind of seems like the innocent bystander in this moment when she's just trying to have a dinner with the producer and then things just get out of hand. But I don't know. It seems like both of them, like you were mentioning, they have this long history. Seems like Kyle was the one to call Lisa out and sort of keep this feud burning. So I mean, I love to see reconciliation, and especially women on TV who, like you said, during reality shows they fight on television, but they're friends off and on again. This happens a lot in Bachelor Nation as well. But I mean, I would hope for a reconciliation sometime down the line, but who knows? Maybe not.
Yeah, I would love for these two to kind of get back together a little bit, but I don't know if I see that happening unless Lisa goes back to Beverly Hills. But at the same time, why would she go back? She has her Vanderpump Rules show. She has Vanderpump Dogs. She's on Pooch Perfect, Oversearch with Lisa
Mhm.
Vanderpump. Those are just four shows that Lisa Vanderpump is on. So I don't think that she wants to go back to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And if she doesn't do that, how is she going to reconcile with Kyle? Even though they seemingly cannot stop running into each other, they're always running into each other at different restaurants. And Kyle talks a little bit more about that, on Watch What Happens Live, that every time she sees Lisa Vanderpump, she always goes up to her, says hello, and is polite. And Lisa always gives her the cold shoulder. Gabby, how long
Oh,
do
okay.
you hold a grudge when you and your friend kind of, stop being friends?
Ooh, that's a good question. I am someone who really hates like any tension or awkwardness being, between me and somebody else. So I'll try to squash it immediately and be like, hey, let's like put this to bed, so we can just go on with our life or talk about whatever we need to talk about. But there's certainly been some friends where just it wasn't working out. We tried to work things out and just kind of separated and went separate ways for whatever reason. Um, and so, I don't know, I feel like it's never been from my, like, side. I always try to, like, have a happy ending or, like, reconcile, but sometimes that just doesn't happen, so
Yeah, and honestly, even if you don't like someone and don't want to be their friend, sometimes it's just better to smile and be polite and be cordial, especially if you're running around the same town or you're in the same circle. So I would kind
yeah.
of advise Lisa to be a little bit more friendly towards Kyle, but then at the same time, they're in the public eye and Lisa's getting a lot of press. So, she knows what she needs to do to get a reaction. So I think she's just trying to have fun with it, but Kyle isn't, taking it the same way. So you guys are going to have to let us know in the comments below if you guys are Team Lisa or Team Kyle. What do you think about this whole dinner bill situation? And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell because we'll be back with more reality TV news. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and today I was joined by Gabby Ganta. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow and say hello. That is all we have for you guys today, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.